I was able to acquire most of my skills as an entrepreneur by simply getting out there and like experiencing business in itself, like customer service, cost of goods, turnover. Yo, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is KT. Peace and love to you all. You know what I'm saying? Arguably a controversial video right here. I'm not sure, you know what I'm saying? We all have our own opinions, but just want to get straight into it, break it down. Is college, university, is it a waste of time? This is something that, I've had multiple debates about with lots of different people. Of course, there are so many mixed opinions and so many different ways that you can really view this subject, right? It all depends on you as an individual, what it is that you hope to achieve in your life, and what path makes the most sense, right? So before I give my answer, I'll just give a little more context and background. So yeah, me personally, I was enrolled in school, okay? So I was in school for 3 years, right? I was business major and it was cool, man. I had fun during school. I didn't end up finishing for a lot of reasons. Yeah, it was a cool experience overall, you know what I'm saying? And I was able to learn a lot of things about myself as well as the world in general, because you kind of go into university it's like you're blindsided. You're kind of me personally, again, I'm speaking through my own lens, okay? But I kind of went in because everyone else was, because my parents told me I needed to. I felt an immense amount of pressure to go to school because it was the expectation from the beginning, from before I was born, you know what I'm saying? Everyone around me was going, and when you have discussions after high school, and it's so what you been up to? What are your plans? You know what I mean? And if you weren't going to uni with a plan, it was almost like you were frowned upon. This dude doesn't have that drive. He doesn't have that hunger, you know what I'm saying? To be successful. And I guess that in itself, when I was 17, 18, kind of scared me, So again, I went into school blindsided with no idea of what it was that I wanted for my own life. And because I didn't have a vision, I couldn't really put up that fight against my parents as to why I shouldn't go. It's okay, at least if you're not gonna go, what are you finna do? I didn't know. So kind of abided by that, and I went to school. Like I was saying, I started to learn a lot about the world and the systems that have been put in place, and it made me question everything, right? Because my tuition, it was $10K a year, and that's just tuition, right? That doesn't include books, that don't include food, that don't include transportation, that don't include time, bro, the amount of hours that you spend doing all these courses and assignments that have no relation to what it is that you're actually trying to pursue. Y'all probably already have an understanding of the direction that I'm going with this video, you know what I'm saying? But I just couldn't make sense of me paying $10K a year to an institution who puts a professor in front of me teaching me business, but they themselves don't even have a business. Let that sink in. You're paying that much for someone who hasn't even found success in the field that you are trying to pursue. How? Why? Who is profiting off of this? You know what I'm saying? The college university system in itself, to me, when I was reevaluating everything, was just damn, bro, this doesn't make any sense. And at that point I was okay. But yeah, I was reselling sneakers during my time at school, and my eBay page started to gain a lot more traction, and I was making enough to be able to support myself. So at that point I was yeah, bro, I'm done school. I think I've learned everything. I've maximized the amount of value that I'd be able to get from school, because my last year was just all elective courses, you know what I'm saying? So I had completed all the business courses, and at this point it was just courses that aren't related to business in any way, but you just have to do them because they're part of the degree, right? So I'm writing essays, endless essays on things that have no correlation, no relation to business at all whatsoever, you know what I'm saying? So it was hard for me to make sense of where it was that I was putting my energy and my time. And I was bro, I have a business over here that's making money, and I'm being taken away from it to do something that has nothing to do with making money at all. And even if I do complete this last year, I'm gonna be put into a job where I start at the bottom. I have to work 8 hours a day for someone else. It didn't make sense to me, bro. So to answer this question, no, it is not a waste of time, depending on the career in which you are trying to pursue. If you are trying to build a business, it's a waste of time, my own personal opinion. Just because there are way more efficient ways that you can accumulate that knowledge at a way cheaper cost and in way less time. I was able to acquire most of my skills as an entrepreneur by simply getting getting out there and like experiencing business in itself, like customer service, cost of goods, turnover, like how fast or how slow am I able to move the product that I'm acquiring, but then there are fields like, okay, like if you want to be an engineer or if you want to be a nurse or anything within the medical field, right? Of course, you're gonna need to go to school. And in that sense, no, it's not a waste of time, because if that's the career that you have chosen for yourself and that is something that you're passionate about and something that you think you can do well and something that you can see yourself doing long term, no, it's not a waste of time. But for everything that I just said, if you are pursuing those careers, not because it's something that you see yourself doing long term and something that you see yourself receiving a significant amount of fulfillment from, and you're doing it for the likes of others, whether it's your peers, your parents, your teachers, then yes, it is a waste of time. Because you may not know it now, but you will soon find out later. You will resent those people afterwards because of how much of yourself you have exerted to get to that point. See what I'm saying? It's crazy, bro. How many people, and that was another thing too, like when I was in school, the amount of people, bro, that are putting themselves through hell to complete papers and do like decent on exams, popping Adderall every day, just straight geeking, bro, like just zombie mode. Now, and now crashing from anxiety, right? Caffeine, lack of sleep, you're not eating correctly. You're just so out of balance. Gosh, bro, it's crazy what I saw some of these people going through for a test grade. It's like, my dude, like, do you really want it that bad? No way. I'm telling you, most of the people that I was around, most like my peers during my time in uni, they was putting themselves through hell, not even for themselves, bro. And that's a fact. And that's like, I'm telling you that as a fact because I was speaking to these people like one-on-one. You get what I'm saying? So I just think those are the old methods of, finding success, so to speak. There are much more efficient and effective ways to become financially free. Although I'm not quite there yet, you know what I'm saying? I can see the light and I'm getting closer, and I know that my experiences as an entrepreneur have taught me far more than my time spent at uni in much less time. It's quite absurd, right? So before you make a commitment like such, just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, because again, like uni in itself, bro, like I don't regret it. Like for everything that I just said, like I don't regret going to school, although I didn't finish, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't regret it because, bro, some of the best moments in my life were like happened like during school. Like one of my close homies, I actually met my girl through his girl, and I met him at uni, you know what I'm saying? So some of like the most beautiful blessings in my life have come from school, and I think it has expanded my awareness and my consciousness in itself, because again, like I said, like I went into uni blindsided with no game plan for my life because I didn't understand how this world operated yet, and it raised my awareness so drastically. And yeah, man, I wouldn't trade it for nothing, because I wouldn't be who I am today. You know what I'm saying? As cliche as it sounds, it's the truth. And yeah, I don't regret it one bit. Wouldn't change a thing. Overall, in itself, I do believe college system is a scam. Completely outdated. You can literally go online, bro. Like you're talking about, like these dudes out here are like 40K in debt, right? After they graduate, you could literally go online and find an influencer of some kind who's put together like an education program of some kind for a couple grand and get way more out of that than you could during 4 years at uni, as far as information goes, right? As far as intellectual property and information goes, right? So I think before you take any type of action pertaining to acquiring knowledge, you must understand what it is that you want to learn, what industry you want to be in, and why. Otherwise, you are wasting your time. I would say more than 50%, probably even more. But just for the purpose of this statistic or metric, whatever, I would say more than 50% of the business students that I was going to school with had no idea why they were there. Dead ass, like I'm being dead serious, bro. And that's the reality. So my best piece of advice to someone watching this right now, if you've yet to like enter school, or you graduated like high school and you're just trying to like get your life together, figure things out, whatever it is, do the internal work first. Once you find clarity within yourself, everything in the external world becomes so much simpler, because you know where you're going and why. If you're like making all these commitments, these financial commitments, but you're only like half-assing it, you're not even like putting forth your maximum efforts, that in itself tells the entire story. You are supposed to be doing other things, so explore them and don't neglect them because, you know, the people that you're around are projecting their own fears onto you. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, man, college system, uni system, completely outdated. There are much more efficient and effective ways to acquire information, especially within the internet era. And just remember, it's very likely that those who are pushing you to go to school are those who came from the past era where internet, making money online didn't exist, right? So yeah, man, this was something that I was kind of excited to talk about just because it's very relevant to my own life. And I believe that I had a lot of valuable information to share pertaining to my own experiences and where I now am within online business and yeah, the path that I've created for myself. You know what I'm saying? And not just allow reality to dictate where I'm supposed to be going and why. You know what I'm saying? Hope y'all found this helpful, man. Always love chopping it up with y'all, you know what I'm saying? And just posting content like this, you get me? Yeah, it's crazy like how passionate I've now become about creating content and connecting with you guys and yeah, just creating a community of like-minded people who, you know, have similar aspirations for their own lives. So it's always dope to connect with y'all. If you have any suggestions for, you know, more content that you want to see discussed here on this channel, drop it in the comments below. Y'all know how it goes, man. I'm always interested in hearing y'all's feedback. And yeah, man, consider subscribing if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next one, man. It's KT.